You tighten before you know you have tightened. Something moves at the edge of the sidewalk. A stranger, a dog, a bike, and your jaw shifts. Your eyes narrow, your brow pulls down. It takes less than half a second. You have already moved on, but your dog read every frame of it, and what they decided to do next came from your face, not theirs. If you want to understand what your dog is really telling you, you are in the right place. Picture this. You are walking your dog past a dog park. There are other dogs behind a chain link fence. One of them barks. You know it is behind a fence. You know it cannot get to you. But something in your stomach tightens anyway, and your eyes go to it just a beat too long. Now your dog is looking at the fence, but a second ago, your dog was looking at you. This is the pattern that gets missed in almost every conversation about reactive dogs, nervous dogs, dogs who cannot handle public spaces. We talk about the dog's past, the dog's breed, the dog's socialization history, and all of that matters. But there is a step that comes before any of it that we almost never examine. Your dog checked your face first. Every time something ambiguous happens, a sound, a stranger, a piece of garbage blowing across the sidewalk, your dog is running a quick calculation. Is this safe? And the primary data source they consult for that calculation is you, not the threat. You. They look to your face the way a child looks to a parent in a new room, not to see the room, but to see how to feel about it. Here is where it gets uncomfortable. If your dog has been nervous in public, pulling back from strangers, barking at other dogs, freezing on the sidewalk, the conventional explanation is that your dog is the anxious one. Maybe they were under-socialized as a puppy. Maybe something happened that you do not know about. And those things may be true. But there is a second explanation that the research takes seriously, and it starts with you. In 2013, a study published in PLOS One by Siniscalchi and colleagues found a significant correlation between an owner's own attachment style, specifically anxious attachment, and the behavioral profile of their dog. Dogs whose owners scored higher in attachment anxiety showed more stress-related behaviors. The dogs were not choosing anxiety from a menu of available emotional states. They were reading an emotional climate that their owner created and calibrating to it. What your dog does in public is not just a dog behavior story. It is a co-regulation story. Your nervous system, expressed through your posture, your breath, your face, especially your face, is broadcasting a signal. And your dog is the most attentive audience you have ever had. The discomfort here is not that your dog is broken. It is that your dog might be accurate. Number 1. You are giving your dog emotional information faster than you can think about it. Research from the Vienna Clever Dog Lab and collaborating groups, including work cited in a 2020 study by Kubimi and colleagues, has documented that dogs process human facial expressions with striking speed and precision, distinguishing between happy, angry, and fearful faces even in photographs. But what the naturalistic studies add is the timing. In real life, your dog does not wait for a full expression to form. They read the micro-shift, the half-second before your face settles into whatever you will consciously present. This matters because you almost certainly do not know what your face is doing in the moment before you compose yourself. Most of us have a brief window of raw reaction before social conditioning kicks in and tells us to look calm. Your dog lives in that window. That half-second of unguarded expression is the truest emotional data point you produce, and your dog is reading it with an attentiveness that is, in the research literature, genuinely extraordinary. You are not hiding what you feel from your dog. If that just made you see your relationship with your pet in a completely different way, hit subscribe. We explore the science of the human-pet bond every week and what it reveals about us. Let us keep going. Number 2. You have been performing calm for an audience you are not actually looking at. When you feel self-conscious in public, when you worry about how you look walking your dog, whether other dog owners are judging your handling, whether people can see your dog misbehaving, your face changes, your jaw tightens, your smile becomes managed, your gaze becomes more effortful. You are now performing for other humans, and the effort of performing shows. A 2023 study by Kujala and colleagues, published in Scientific Reports, examined how owner temperament, specifically neuroticism and trait anxiety, shaped dog behavior in social settings. Dogs of higher neuroticism owners showed more social wariness. What is particularly telling is that the effect was most pronounced in public social contexts, not at home. The dog was reading the version of you that appears when you feel watched. This is the audience effect in reverse. You worry about being judged by strangers. In managing that worry, you produce a specific facial and postural signature. Your dog reads that signature not as my owner is uncomfortable being judged, but as something out there is a threat. Your social anxiety becomes their environmental threat assessment. Number 3. Your anxiety does not stay inside your face. It spreads into your dog's body, like a slow current. This is co-regulation, and it is one of the most deeply established findings in the human-animal bond literature. The stress response is not just communicated through facial expression. It is communicated through microtensions in the leash, through the quality of your breath, through the way your shoulders orient. But the face is the fastest and most legible channel. In a 2011 study by Rooney and colleagues, published in Applied Animal Behavior Science, the researchers found direct links between owner emotional state during training interactions and dog learning outcomes. Dogs whose owners brought anxiety into the interaction learned more slowly and showed more behavioral disruption, not because they were less capable, but because their nervous system was co-regulating with the owner's nervous system, rather than attending to the task. You did not teach your dog to be anxious, but your nervous system is speaking a language they already understand. And what makes this specific to public spaces is the amplification factor. The moment you feel watched, your anxiety increases, your face tightens further, and your dog's threat assessment spikes again. In public, the feedback loop runs faster. Number 4. There is a specific type of dog owner who produces a specific type of reactive dog, and it is not the owner who is angry or domineering. It is the owner who is afraid of what will happen. Afraid the dog will embarrass them. Afraid the dog will bark and everyone will stare. Afraid they will be judged as a bad owner. In a 1997 study, V. O'Farrell published findings in Applied Animal Behavior Science that remain some of the clearest evidence for this link. Owner attitudes, specifically anxious anticipatory attitudes about their dog's behavior, were directly predictive of behavior problems in the dogs. The dogs were not leading the anxiety, they were following it. When you walk toward a situation already expecting your dog to react, your face broadcasts that expectation, your body tenses in anticipation, your grip changes, and your dog, reading those signals a half-second before you have consciously registered them, receives confirmation. Something bad is about to happen here. The tragedy of anticipatory anxiety is that it fulfills itself. Your fear that your dog will react becomes the very signal that triggers the reaction. None of that makes you a bad owner. Number 5. Confident dogs in public are almost always a byproduct of confident owners. And confident here does not mean fearless, it means regulated. A regulated owner's face in public carries something specific. A forward-directed, open gaze. Eyebrows resting, not raised or furrowed. A jaw that is loose rather than set. These are not performance cues, they are what a genuinely present, non-anticipating nervous system produces in a face. When I came across the 2013 research by Siniscalchi and colleagues in +1, what stayed with me was not just the correlation between owner attachment anxiety and dog stress behaviors. It was what they found on the other end of the spectrum. Dogs of securely attached owners showed greater behavioral flexibility and more exploratory behavior in novel environments. Not bravery exactly. Curiosity. And curiosity in a dog, in a public space, is a direct signal of felt safety. Your dog's curiosity is a referendum on your nervous system's signal. A dog who sniffs freely, who looks around with loose body posture, who orients toward new things rather than scanning for threats. That dog is receiving a consistent message from the face of the person holding the leash. We are okay here. Nothing in my face says otherwise. Number 6. You cannot think your face into calmness on a walk. That is the first thing to understand. Cognitive effort, reminding yourself to look calm, telling yourself there is nothing to worry about, produces its own facial signature. And it is a tense one. Your dog will read the effort as the emotion. What the research from Rooney and colleagues points toward instead is something more grounded. The regulation has to happen in the body before it appears in the face. This means that the work of becoming the owner whose face signals safety to their dog is not a training task. It is a nervous system task. Slow, deliberate breath before you approach a difficult situation. Consciously relaxing the jaw and dropping the shoulders before the trigger, not during it. These are not tricks. They are the physiological preconditions for a face that tells a dog the human in charge of this situation is here and okay. In practice, this looks like pausing before you enter public space. 30 seconds, breathing out fully, letting your face go soft before the walk begins. Not performing calm, arriving at it, however briefly, and letting your dog read the real version. That is where dog confidence in public actually starts. What you now understand is something most dog owners are never told. The thing shaping your dog's confidence in public is not your dog's history, or your training method, or the equipment on their collar. It is the face you bring to the sidewalk. And what that face reveals about you in those unguarded half seconds before you compose yourself is where your actual anxiety lives. Not the anxiety you think about, the one that arrives before thought, the one your body generates in the presence of other people's evaluation, the one that says, I might not be doing this right, and everyone can tell. Your dog is not judging you. They are reflecting you. And because dogs cannot lie about what they are receiving, the dog who is anxious in public is offering you one of the more honest diagnostic tools available. Not a diagnosis of your dog, a diagnostic of your own nervous system in social space. The practical move forward is not to become a different kind of person on walks. It is to become aware of the person you already are. Specifically, the micro window of your face before you decide how to look. That awareness alone is the beginning of something different for both of you. Your dog does not need you to be perfect. They need your face to be real. The next time you clip the leash and step outside, your dog will do what they have always done. They will look at your face, not to see the street, not to see the other dogs or the strangers or the traffic, to see you, to read the signal you are broadcasting about whether this world, right now, is safe to be curious in. You have been the emotional climate of every walk your dog has ever taken. You were the map they were reading while you thought they were just walking beside you. That is not a weight to carry. It is an invitation. Because if your face can make the world smaller and scarier than it is, and the research is clear that it can, then your face can also make it larger and safer than your dog has yet discovered. The work starts before the door opens. It starts with what you are carrying in your body, and what that becomes in your face, and what your dog reads in that face, and what they decide to do with the world because of it. Now that you know your face is the emotional weather report your dog checks before deciding whether the world outside is safe to explore. When did you last notice what your expression was doing in the half second before you composed yourself on a walk? And what do you think your dog concluded from it? Let us know in the comments. New episodes drop every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Make sure you are subscribed to catch the next one. Until then, decode your dog, decode yourself.